In a very simplified and convenient way, the gain of amplifier is assumed to be independent of frequency and it remains constant over a wide range of frequencies of interest and working. It is further assumed that the effect of coupling, bypass and internal capacitors is negligible over this range, but situation is quite different. In fact, amplifiers are connected to input voltage sources through high valued coupling capacitors. Amplifiers are connected to output load resistors through high valued coupling capacitors, which again block the DC component. High valued bypass capacitors are used to boost up the gain of amplifiers, and at high frequency range, internal capacitors reduce the gain. Let us consider the example of common source amplifier, and this is a circuit diagram of common source amplifier. These are coupling and this is bypass capacitor, this is load resistor, and this is the frequency response of common source amplifier, and this is the gain in dB and this is the frequency in hertz. There are two frequencies mentioned, FL and FH, known as FL, FH. FL stands for low cutoff frequency, this is high cutoff frequency, and technically these are called 3 dB frequencies. At these frequencies, gain falls by 3 dB, and within this range, within FH and FL, this width is called band width. Within this range, the effect of coupling, bypass and internal capacitor assumed ineffective can be neglected easily. And in this low frequency range, this coupling and bypass capacitor, they don't behave as a short circuit. That's why gain starts falling in low frequency range, and the rate of falling of gain is minus 20 dB per decade. Similarly, in high frequency range, these internal capacitors CGS, CGT, they don't behave as an open circuit. That's why gain falls in this range. The rate of falling of gain is minus 20 dB per decade. In fact, the degree of error in neglecting the effect of these capacitors, this also entirely depends upon the relative magnitude of the capacitive reactances of these capacitors compared to circuit reactances, and this error increases when the bandwidth is smaller. In my forthcoming lectures, I will be concentrating on these 4 points. The very first one is factors affecting the gain of MOS amplifiers, behavior of MOS amplifiers in low, mid and high frequency bands, frequency response and determination of bandwidth, and determination of terminal characteristics of MOS amplifiers. But in the current lecture, I will be analyzing and discussing common source amplifier working in mid frequency band. These are few general facts about amplifiers. I'll explain about input signal source and how to connect them. There are two different cases. The very first one is about single stage and second one is about cascade system. Let us consider single stage first. This is a single stage amplifier, or you may call stand-alone amplifier, very well connected to the output load, and these are input terminals of this amplifier, and this is very conventional way of representing any input signal source as a voltage source, where this Vs is the open circuit output potential difference across these two terminals, where Rs is the internal resistance of this voltage source. In cascade system, when so many amplifiers are connected in series, then suppose we are looking one input signal source for this stage. Technically, any input signal source or voltage source for this stage would be Thevenin equivalent of output stage of this amplifier or the preceding the one which is under study in a cascade system. So these are the ways we can connect input signal source in a single stage or in a cascade system. This is about loading of amplifier by input signal sources. There are 2 points. This is a single stage amplifier and very well connected to the load, and this is input voltage source or input signal source. and this is Vi is the potential difference across input terminals of the amplifier. The very first point, since Rs is not zero, this is not an ideal voltage source. That's why this potential difference would be smaller than this potential difference. That means Vi should be less than Vs. We can calculate Vi by applying voltage divider rule. Second point, beyond this dotted line, Rin is the total internal resistance of the amplifier. This input current entirely depends upon total internal resistance of the amplifier. So this depends upon Rin. So these 2 points are under category of loading of amplifier by input signal source. And this is about load resistance and how to connect to the amplifier. In a very single stage standalone amplifier, this is amplifier and these are output terminal, and we simply connect any resistor which is a load resistor across these 2 terminals. Whereas in cascade system, so many amplifiers are connected in series, then there is a different technique we have to use. Suppose we need for a stage N one output resistance, and this is stage N plus 1. Technically speaking, the internal resistance of this amplifier, which is Rin, should be the load resistance for this amplifier. I mean, load resistance of this amplifier should be the input resistance of the succeeding amplifier. And these are the technique to connect load resistances, and we have to consider very important theorem that's called maximum power transfer theorem for impedance matching in these type of cases. These are the types of amplifiers I will be explaining in my forthcoming lectures. Discrete MOS amplifiers with resistive loads, and unilateral single stage amplifiers, and body and source terminals of all MOS amplifiers are interconnected and posing no body effect. This is all about common source amplifier. I'll explain and derive all expression for terminal characteristics for common source amplifier. In this amplifier, we have used one bypass capacitor Cs across source resistor Rs. This is used for AC signal ground between source and ground. At mid frequency range, this will behave as a short circuit, and across Rs, no potential difference will be created, or we can say no negative feedback effect will be there. Between input signal source and the device, we have used one high valued coupling capacitor. At mid frequency range, this will behave as a short circuit and it will block DC component coming from the signal source towards the device. This also helps in stabilizing operating point or Q point of the device. Similarly, this is again one more coupling capacitor used between the device and the load. At mid frequency, this will act as a short circuit and it also blocks DC component. During the state of short circuit, we can say the potential difference between these 2 points must be equal to the potential difference across these 2 points. In another word, this Vd is equal to V0. This is drain voltage must be equal to output voltage. And this is a small signal equivalent circuit of CS amplifier. This is input signal source and this is the input resistance of input signal source. This is biasing resistor and this is output resistance of the device. This is the resistor joined with drain and this is the output load resistor. And this Vi is the potential difference across input terminals of amplifier between G and S. VGS is the potential difference between G and S terminals. And this is current source. This is in fact voltage controlled current source. And the direction of this current in this loop will be anti-clockwise. And these 3 resistors are connected and parallel between drain and source. There are 2 planes mentioned, one plane and second plane. Across this plane, between these 2 points, looking towards the amplifier, the resistance is called input resistance. Across this plane, between these 2 points, looking towards the amplifier, the resistance is called total input resistance. Let us calculate these resistances first. So this is the expression for input resistance, Ri, input voltage divided by input current. Input voltage divided by input current equal to Rg. And total input resistance is this Rs plus Rg. Now, this is input potential difference between the input terminals of the amplifier, and Vi is equal to VGS. Since this is not an ideal voltage source because Rs is not 0, in that case Vi is equal to VGS, but these two are smaller than Vs. The value of Vi or VGS can be determined by using voltage divider law, and this is the expression, and this is as per voltage divider law. So Vi is equal to this much, Vs is here, and this is equal to VGS. However, Vi and VGS are equal, but they are smaller than Vs. Now, let us have an expression for output voltage. This is the expression for output voltage. This is the output voltage at this point between drain and source. And this is the current, and this is the combination of these three resistors in parallel between drain and source. So this is the expression for output voltage. VGS is equal to Vi, and Vi is equal to this much, this factor. And these three, 1, 2 and 3 are as per this expression. So this is very comprehensive statement of output voltage, and rather you can say this is a comprehensive equation or expression for output voltage in terms of VGS, Vi and Vs. Now we are in a position to determine the voltage gain. This is the voltage gain, output voltage divided by input voltage. This output voltage divided by this input voltage. This output voltage divided by this input voltage, we get this expression. One more condition, when we remove load resistor, there is no load resistor. In that case, it's called open circuit voltage gain. It remains very simple without RL over here. Now, this is called overall voltage gain. This is the ratio between extreme values. Output voltage divided by input signal voltage. Output voltage divided by Vs, input signal voltage. This is the expression. 2 points are there. The very first point, when Rg is far greater than Rs, then this factor would reduce to 1. That means this expression will be equal to this expression. Second point, there is a negative sign. This expresses the phase reversal in amplification process. This is the condition of input signal. This is a state of phase of input signal, and this is the waveform of amplified input signal. Amplitude is more and the phase is reversed by 180 degree. Now we can determine the output resistance of this amplifier. For this, look at the circuit. This is involving one voltage dependent current source. By using Thevenin equivalent theorem, let us neutralize these sources. This is a voltage source by short circuiting this source and putting this current source in an open circuit state by disconnecting. That means plainly these three resistors are in parallel. So this is the expression for output resistance of amplifier R0, RD and RL. So this is all about terminal characteristics of common source amplifier working in mid-frequency band. On the next page, I'll be again taking up this common source amplifier without using this bypass capacitor. This is again common source amplifier, but this time this is without bypass capacitor. But one resistor Rs is connected between source and ground. I simply refer the last page for comparison. Anyway, this is the circuit diagram for common source amplifier, and there is no bypass capacitor across Rs. That means there is no AC signal ground, and one potential difference will be created across this Rs, which will act as a negative feedback effect, which will reduce the gain of the amplifier, but this will help in stabilizing the position of quiescent point on the load line. The working of CC1 and CC2, I already explained, they are coupling capacitors, and this is a small signal equivalent circuit of CS amplifier. There are so many changes over here. The very first change is the load resistor has been removed for convenience only, and this is gate, source and drain, and between source and ground there is a source resistor. That means VGS is measured between these 2 points and VI is measured between G and ground over here. That means this VGS is not equal to VI. This is possible because there is no bypass capacitor over here. One more point, this is voltage controlled voltage source. Previously it was voltage controlled current source. It has been changed into voltage source by way of interconversion of sources using Thevenin and Norton theorems. Now there is a term, this GMR0. Let me write this thing equal to mu G for convenience purpose, and rest things are same. There are 2 planes, and across this plane between these 2 points looking toward the amplifier, the resistance is called input resistance, and considering this plane between these 2 points looking toward the amplifier, resistance is called total input resistance. Let us derive the expression for input resistances. This is input resistance Ri is equal to input voltage by input voltage by input current Rg, and this is total input resistance Rin at this point in this direction. This is Rs plus Ri, Rs plus Rg. This is the expression. On the next page, we will derive the expression for output resistance of this amplifier. So here we derive the expression for output resistance of the amplifier. Output resistance R0 is defined looking between these 2 points toward the amplifier, and since we are dealing with the dependent sources and we are putting this input voltage source by putting it to short circuit, and it remains 0, and because Vs is 0, that's why input current becomes 0. And write the expression for VGS. This VGS is equal to Vi minus the potential difference across this resistor. Since Vi is 0, so VGS remains minus Rs ID. And output voltage Vx across drain and the ground. The very first term, the potential difference across this, the potential difference across this, and the potential difference across this. This expression is as per Kirchhoff voltage law. And substituting the value of VGS is minus RSID. Further simplification gives the value of ID, drain current. This is the drain current. So this is the expression of drain current. Now test current. This test current is equal to this current plus this current, and we are using Kirchhoff current law to find the expression for Ix. Then Ix will be ID plus Vx by Rd. Vx is the potential difference across Rd. So this current plus this current as per KCL, Kirchhoff current law. So this is the expression for test current Ix. Now we are in a position to determine or to derive the expression for output resistance. On the next page. So on the last page, we have derived the expression for Ix. Now this output resistance can be defined the ratio between output voltage, that is test voltage, by test current. So this is the ratio, and this is the expression for output resistance. Now we can include load resistor also. In that way we can derive the expression for total output resistance, that includes RL also. So this is the final value of total output resistance R out of this common source amplifier. So let us derive the expression for voltage gain of common source amplifier. And this is a small signal equivalent circuit. This is input voltage source, and this is drain resistor. And just considering this output loop of amplifier, and as per Kirchhoff voltage law, this potential difference is equal to the sum of potential differences across Rs, Rd and R0. So this is the expression as per Kirchhoff voltage law for considering output loop. And this potential difference between G and S, VGS, is equal to the difference of potential across Rg and Rs. That means VGS is equal to Vi minus Rs into Id. Then VGS is equal to Vi minus Rs Id. So this factor is replaced by this factor. And from this equation we get expression for drain current. And from this expression we get expression for output voltage across drain resistor between drain and ground. So this is the expression for output voltage. Now we can define open circuit voltage gain, that is AV0, which is output voltage divided by input voltage, output voltage divided by input voltage. So this is the expression for open circuit voltage gain. And this negative sign indicates phase reversal of input signal in amplification process by common source amplifier. On the last page we have derived the expression for open circuit voltage gain for common source amplifier, and this is the expression. Let us have some related facts. This factor is the effective resistance of source resistor Rs, which is connected between source and ground, and this source resistor introduces negative feedback effect. I explained earlier also, in this case we don't use bypass capacitor. That means there is no AC signal ground. In this case, one potential difference will be created across Rs, which will provide negative feedback effect. And because of negative feedback effect, this open circuit voltage gain will reduce and transconductance of the amplifier also reduces. And Rs increases the linearity of amplification. This is a beneficial point. And all these 3 points are covered in a process which is known as source degeneration produced by Rs. This is because of source resistor. This is the expression for open circuit voltage gain for common source amplifier. And there is one important fact about source resistor. In absence of source resistor, we can write Rs is equal to 0. Then the expression for open circuit voltage gain reduces to very simplified form. But this indicates maximum value of open circuit voltage gain, and substituting the value of mu g GMR0 and further simplification, we arrive at this very simplified expression for maximum value of open circuit voltage gain. In case when output resistance of device is far greater than the drain resistor, then the maximum value of open circuit voltage gain is approximately equal to minus GMRD, which is very familiar expression which we derived in case of using bypass capacitor. When we are using source resistor, there is a technique to boost up the gain of common source amplifier. In fact, we split the source resistor in 2 parts, Rs1 and Rs2, and we put them together in series between source and ground, and across one of them we put and we attach one bypass capacitor so that working in mid frequency band, this will be bypassed, and from this point to this point there will be a short circuit. Now there are 2 situations. The very first one is combined together Rs1 and Rs2 equal to Rs will take care and will stabilize operating point or quiescent point along the load line. Second point, as far as open circuit voltage gain is concerned, this Rs will be replaced by Rs1, which is smaller than Rs. In this case, this gain will increase because in this situation there is no role of Rs2 because it has been bypassed by Cs. So our purpose is solved, putting together, and there is a source resistor. But as far as gain is concerned, only one resistor with a smaller value is effective. So this is the purpose of this method. So with this, I conclude very comprehensive explanation of common source amplifier with or without bypass capacitor working in mid frequency band.